My name is Damon Eagon. I live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, which is northern part of Alberta. Uh, Population of just over 1 million people, and it's a beautiful place to live. You get the best of both worlds with the mountains and all four seasons. Oh, great places to go. We've got Banff, which is right in the beautiful Rocky Mountains, beautiful national park. There's absolutely tons to do in Edmonton itself. It's such a culturally diverse city. So there's just so much to do, and it is just so clean and so clear. You can go anywhere and feel safe, and it's just a fantastic place to live. Funny enough, how I got into the car industry was actually I have a financial background, and I started in the car business in F&I. Is how I started, and then from there I went into selling cars and did that for 6 years, and then decided to try out the fixed side, and that's where I've been for the last 10 years. A day in the life of me is very routine and very regimented, because it's all process. Everything that we do is process. Everything that we do in the course of a day is a process. And if you don't have a process and a winning process, you won't succeed. So I get up in the morning, shower, dress. I have mindfulness time. I know it sounds really kind of new age, but meditation is key. On my way to work, I've always got a podcast on, always trying to learn something new. Then my day starts when I hit the office with doing morning reports and then having our morning meeting with the team, getting everybody fired up, what game's going on that day, really kind of shooting the positives into who did well the previous day, where we are, where we're going, compile the numbers after the doors roll up and cars start rolling in, then, so everybody knows where we are for the day, the month, the year, and where we're going to. Then I make it a habit of going to see every technician that we have and asking them how things are going. I know something personal about everybody that works with me, because it's important to have that bond with everybody that you work with. So some little thing of how are the kids, how was your golf game yesterday, that bond has just really solidified our team. So I think it's very, very important that happens every day. And also it gives everybody the opportunity to know what's going on and where we are and what we're doing. Because if everybody feels a part of what we're doing, then they'll want to succeed not only for themselves but for the team. Again, then after, it's just reviewing work orders, missed opportunities. I like to get some reading time in throughout the day, because it's very, very important to read. Absolutely. If you're not reading, you're not learning, and if you're not learning, you're stagnant. I don't take a lot of fiery phone calls or have a lot of bad customers coming through the doors, because we empower our people to make the decisions to put out the fires and take care of business. Not everything has to fall on me. And if you're empowering your team, that makes them stronger. That makes them stronger leaders as well. I want to see my team succeed to the point where they become managers and they're sitting in this seat. That's what I want. I think that's probably the biggest part of my job. Never mind being a manager or a boss or anything like that. It's a mentor and a teacher, because I want to see my guys go forward so that they're here. Usually on the way home, it's another podcast or something that I'm trying to learn or figure out. And then it's time, because I've put the time in, I've been able to spend that quality time at home with my wife. The biggest challenge, I would have to say, realizing that I didn't know everything that there was, and I actually had to reinvent myself and become a better person, a better leader, a better teacher, better father, better husband. And that's really what determined what path I was going to take in my successes going forward. Well, if I was to narrow it down to one thing that was kind of a defining moment, was when I realized that I had to stop blaming everybody else in every situation for every failure that I came into. Once you realize that it is you and you alone that can change who and what you are and what you can achieve, that's where that's the tipping point. That's the jump off. Is that until you fully commit and you fully believe it, nothing will ever change. You'll just be a victim of circumstance. Well, as far as mentors go, I've had several. Starting, well, I would have to say starting with my wife. My wife has been the one that has challenged me to do more. She's the one that actually forced me to move 1,500 miles or 3,000 kilometers from home to take this job that I'm currently in. We knew that it was a good opportunity, but she had been at her job for 28 years. That's a tough thing to do, to ask someone to move after she's had that kind of security. And she took that leap of faith with me, and she's constantly challenged me to do more, to be better at everything that I do, and has made me a better person. I guess as far as something that still resonates with me, I look at a lot of what my father's done. Emigrated from England to Canada with a small family, left all his family behind, worked tirelessly like a dog to get to where he needed to be to provide for his family. Gave me the kind of values of hard work, responsibility that I think everybody should have, but realizing that you only have one life and you have to be happy in that life no matter what you do. And sometimes you're going to make choices that may not sit well with other people, but at the end of the day, those other people don't live your life. You have to live your life. And that is something that has just sat with me for 45 years. Which one was I? A boss or a leader? I was definitely a boss first. Thought that, if I took control and told people what to do, then that's how it would be. And I would not earn respect, but I'd command it. It was a very humbling experience when, I took 6 years of experience in the car business, selling cars, and then went to the fixed side and started from the bottom. And that became very humbling. That's when I really learned to start to be a leader rather than just be a boss. Up until recently, I thought that I was really on the right track. And then there's this pretty famous bearded guy that said, put your hand up and tell everyone that the buck stops with you. And that's when you really start to become a leader. And that statement resonated with me to the point that that's how we do what we do, is that we stand up to become that leader and teach and mentor and learn and lead people. And it's paid off in spades. Well, it's a big journey of what we've had to overcome. When I was recruited to the current dealership that I'm at, it was very interesting because they knew that their process was broken. They knew that their service department was broken. They'd gone through a lot of turnover. They were finally starting to clean it up, and then when they asked me to join, I still remember very vividly having a conversation with the dealer principal and owner, and he asked me if I wanted the job, and I said, if you want me to take this job, it's going to cost you an awful lot of money. And he said, I know, and shook my hand and said, write your own pay plan. um, I knew I was good at what I do, because what I've done for the last 10 years is fix dealerships, take them from losing money to making money, bad CSI to, in a couple of instances, tops in the country, top 10 in the country. This is bigger. This was a much bigger deal, because we're not talking about a dealership that, will do 20 appointments a day, or, do $100,000 of business. This is a $7 million a year business. That's just labor sales. That's not parts or anything else. So I knew that this was going to be a big animal to take on and take down. So I knew everything that we were doing wasn't going to fix it, and we needed an edge. And I remember coming down last September to California for boot camp and thinking that I had a good grasp on things. That lasted about 4 minutes till I realized that everything that I knew, I didn't know. And how I was doing things were getting by on talent, or whatever you want to call it, but not having a complete system. And after the 2 days of boot camp and seeing the $50,000 challenge book, that just became the fuel. That became the fuel to this day, to today. And that goal has been written down twice a day, every day, for 10 months. What would it mean for me to win? I guess at the risk of sounding rather egotistical, validation for the hard work that we've done. This has never been just about me. This is the team. This is everything that we've gone through together. We've had to make a lot of changes, some wholesale changes, to create a different culture. We've had people leave that couldn't accept what we were asking of them. And we've brought in new players. We've brought in more talent. We've taken the business to such a high level, but there's more. So winning this would be fantastic. But at the end of the day, it's just another level that we're, on the climb, because we're not done yet. We're not nearly done yet. Wow, what would I do with the money? Well, I'm thinking maybe a vacation. My wife has put up with so much of what we do, and constantly talking about ways to change and different ideas, and she's getting sick and tired of finding my books all over the house. That's really one thing that I can take away from this whole experience, is that it's allowed me to open up my mind to so many other different ideas that we can use in our business, because we can't just be pigeonholed into this is fixed operations and this is all you can do. We need to take things from the successful businesses, no matter what they are. So, I've got books lying around all over the place that I've read, and I think my wife just needs a break from it.